Hello everyone. This is a tutorial for making a Meander book. I am going to show how to make the 3-inch Meander book from a single piece of scrapbook paper. A Meander book is a non-traditional book form. It is a variation of an accordion book. It does not have a right side up. It is a little like taking an adventure. You never know where the next page is going to open. This one opens up. Next one opens sideways. And then the next one opens up. They're very fun. They're fun to look at. They're fun to make, and they're really easy. So the one that I'm going to show is the 3-inch. Sorry. I'm going to show you some variations at the end, but this is the 3-inch size, 3 inches square, made from a single piece of scrapbook paper. This one has magazine images and words on the pages. You can do anything with these, and like I said, I will show you how to do some variations at the end. So how to make the structure itself. Very easy. Start with a piece of scrapbook paper. You can do this with poster board so that it's a little bit larger, but if you're just trying out, a nice piece of scrapbook paper that you don't really care about is good for your first one. So, scrapbook paper, 12 inches. Fold it in half and make sure that the corners are meeting, the sides are meeting. You want it to be fairly accurate. And make your crease. Now open that up. And you can see your crease a little bit. I'm taking a pencil, and as it's bent a little bit, I'm just going to run the pencil down so I can see that line. Just enough to see it. And then I am going to fold this side to that line. I'm going to make sure that the corners meet the edges. Excuse my Band-Aid. And give it a crease. And then turn it around and do the same thing to the other side. So you've got 4 columns. You want to try to be accurate as possible. The more accurate you are, the less wonky your book will be. Now you want to turn it sideways and do the same thing the other way. You want to make sure your corners are matched up. You want to make sure your folds match up as much as possible. And fold that. Again, you might want to mark the center so that you can see where to fold that paper in. Sometimes it's hard to see the fold. If you use pencil, you can erase. You don't have to worry about it. All right. And then turn it around and do the same thing. Okay. I'm taking this Band-Aid off. Distracting me. All right. So you've got a grid of 16 squares. All right. You don't have to make sure the folds are really folded at this point because you're going to be refolding them in the opposite direction, some of the folds. All right. So what you want to do next, and I'm going to mark where I am going to be cutting. Just so I can see the line better, I am going to, put a little bit of mark in the fold as it's folded. And that way the pencil is guided right exactly on the fold so you can see it a little bit better. What I am going to do is I am going to cut the book And I am going to, let me mark it so I can show you. I am going to cut this fold all the way to the edge and this fold all the way to the edge, but I am going to leave, I'm going to cut just to this first fold mark right here, all right, on both sides. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do the same thing. I am going to cut all the way down this line, leaving just the top square, and I'm just going to cut right to that fold. So let me do that really fast. Try to cut as accurately on the fold as possible. If you want to use a rotary cutter or a paper trimmer, whatever will help you get that fold pretty accurate. And you want to go just to that fold line right there. And on the other side as well. And then turn it around, and you want to go up the middle to that first fold line. Get in here so it's straight. Just to the fold line. You don't want to go over the fold line. You want to make sure you get right to that fold line. Okay? Now, at this point, I like to erase my lines before I start creasing everything, just in case I don't cover it up with collage or paint or whatever. Just like that. And then we start folding the book. All right. So you've got this M thing going on. Everything is in one line. And you want to start with one of the arms and fold it up. And what you want to do is continue folding back and forth and back and forth. You don't want to wrap the fold around. You want to make sure that you're making a zigzag everywhere you go, back and forth and back and forth. You know what I mean? So you're not wrapping pages inside other pages. You want to make sure that you're wrapping, that you're going back and forth. So when you get to the top, you're going to go sideways, and then you're going to go down the next one until you get to the bottom, and then you're going to go sideways, and then all the way up, back and forth and back and forth, sideways, and all the way down. So what you have is you don't have any of your pages wrapped around any of the other pages. They're all accordion folded, okay? And that is your book. Now, the more accurate you are, the more accurate your book is going to be. I have never made a perfect Meander book. They're all just a little bit wonky. The pages are never exactly where they need to be. Some of them are a little bit taller. See that? Some of them are a little shorter. Sometimes the fold isn't exactly where it needs to be. Sometimes I've cut it off just a little bit. I have never made a perfect Meander book. They're all just a little slightly defective. It adds to their charm. The more times you do it, the easier it is to get more accurate with this. All right. So then you've got your Meander book to do what you want with. So this one here, I've put covers on, which means I took a book like this one, a couple of pieces of cardboard, covered the cardboard in paper so that I had covers, and then glued those pieces of cardboard to the book. I've made the pieces of cardboard maybe a 1/16 inch larger than the pages so that it will go over the pages just enough to make it look like a cover. All right, so you can add covers. You don't have to add covers. You can do a whole lot of different things before you fold the book. This one is made from a piece of double-sided scrapbook paper, which makes an interesting base. You can paint your paper first, stamp on it, put some stuff on it, and then make your book so that you have some painted pages to deal with when you're making the book. This one is another painted one, and the cardstock cracked just a little bit. Just on the edges here, you can see where it's cracked. This is not a big deal. It does weaken the creases a little bit. It weakens the paper there, but you can maybe ink those edges so that you can't see the white bits. This won't bother me too much. It might bother somebody else. So be careful about the kind of paper that you're using if you don't want it to crack like that. This one, I collaged paper all over, put a little bit of gesso on, front and back. It was extremely stiff. It was very hard to make the folds and to cut. So I won't be putting gesso on my pages anymore. This one is one that I painted and stamped the background a little bit, and then I stamped images on top of it. You can add images, you can stamp images on. Here's just a few that I'm going to be making Meander books out of. I've done a little bit of collage, a little bit of stamping on both sides, because you see both sides. And then I will be making a Meander book out of these papers. So they're very, very versatile. You can do a lot of different things with them. You can make them all kinds of sizes. I'm going to be doing my live stream today, just talking about Meander books and different variations. And so I just wanted to get the how to make the basic structure out there so that I didn't have to go through that again. So Meander books are really easy to do, and they're so much fun, and then you can do a whole lot of things with them on the inside. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, there's the comments below. I will answer any questions you might have. Thanks for watching.